What, was Krillin busy? Come on, buddy, you can't be serious. With your power level, you're no android, you're no Namekian, and you're certainly no Super Saiyan. You're just human.
Yeah? Well, you know what? Power levels! Super Saiyans! And you! Shin Kiko!
Oh, that's a Dora
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Darkstar Talks, and welcome to my channel. Welcome to my segment Darkstar Talks. Now, y'all probably read the title, and y'all probably like, what the fuck is Darkstar talking about? 32-year-old woman sleeping with 13-year-old boy? All right, well, let me get into the meat and potatoes of the story. So, essentially, what ended up happening is this woman by the name, I think her name was like Andrea Serrano. She was arrested for having sex with a 13-year-old boy. Not only just that, she got pregnant and had his baby. And then come to find out, no charge. She worked a plea deal. She got a plea deal, and she wouldn't have to serve time. The only thing that would happen with her was probation, and I think registered as a sex offender. Now, why am I kind of making a big deal about this? Is because, well, here's the thing, man. For starters, why is a fucking full grown ass adult sleeping with a 13-year-old boy? That's the question. Why is this adult sleeping with a teenager? And then let alone having this kid's child, like, I think it's like one of those things. Essentially, this kid's life is fucking ruined before he's even had the opportunity to experience life. You know? And that's just pretty jacked up. It's jacked up. And honestly, honestly, man, it's just one of those things, like, I'd have to put full blame on her. Due to the simple fact that she's the adult in the situation, therefore she's the one to blame. You know? I put a little bit of blame on the 13-year-old just because it's like one of those things, you know, he's thinking with his other head and not with his brain. You know? Like, come on, dog. You can't be serious about that, man. And this is one of those times I really wish I had my laptop, because then I can actually play the story to kind of give a little bit of detail and kind of show you what this person looks like. I'll probably put a picture of it on my community wall so y'all can kind of see, you know, what I'm talking about with this story. But yeah, man, and it's like, from according to reports from what his mom was saying, is that he's more disconnected to a point where doesn't really say much, you know, all just due to the fact that this 31-year-old woman wanted to have her fun with some younger boy. Like, I get where some people want to mess around with younger people, but come on, man. Like, yeah, like, that's a fucking child. What the fuck? You have to be a sick individual to do something like that. You have to be a very sick individual to do something like that and think it's okay. Like, come on now. We cannot be serious about this. Like, and just the fact that she's not doing any jail time is really the punchline of it all. Like, for real, the fact that she's just not even doing any jail time, man.
All right, quick. What kind of shit is that?
Like, come on, man. And again, 31-year-old woman taking away, having sexual relations with someone that's underage, man.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
You know what I mean? Like, you can't be serious about this. Like, like I can tell you right now, if this shit happened in Texas, it wouldn't fly. I'm gonna just keep that a beam. If this shit happened in Texas, it would not fly at all. Like she would get thrown under the jail real quick, like really quick. It's like really, I'm just more concerned about about the 13-year-old boy and like the trauma he's got to deal with, and just the amount of therapy he's gonna have to go through. Now let me say one more thing let me say one thing on this real quick, because I know there's this big misconception that only women can get essayed, and that men women can get essayed, men can't get essayed. That's entirely false. That is false. Men can get raped by women. I don't ever want to hear that BS that men cannot get raped. That is complete bullshit. Straight bullshit. I don't care who you are. Men can who you are, what you got to say on that. Men can get raped too. All right, and like I would not be surprised if people are clowning on this kid too. You know, not really kind of understanding the trauma that how traumatizing the experience was for him. I mean, 13-year-old kid, man. Some people will be like, "Oh yeah, I wish that would have been me when I was 13." At that point, you just shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Not everybody's like you. All right, not everybody's gonna be like you and want to mess around with an older woman. You know what I mean? And even then, no offense, like if I was 13, I would have hit that either. I'm just gonna be honest. Like I saw what she looked like. Oh, she got a pretty face. That's about it. Other than that, I'm not busting that down. Nah, you couldn't talk me into busting that down ever. Not at that age. Hell no. I was trying to mess around with girls that were the same age as me. You know, but it's like I don't know. Like it just kind of makes me think about this whole misconception where where only girls can get raped and that dudes can't. And then we wonder why some dudes are just kind of fucked up in the head sometimes. And we wonder why. Like, I mean, do y'all not? If anybody seen Antoine Fisher, you kind of know his story. You know, he was raped by an older woman when he was a kid, and that fucked him up ever since. Like, he had a lot of anger problems, just had a lot of anger issues, man. You know, and that's video that could happen to people. Like, I actually had a friend that happened to when he was younger. You know, he got raped by an older woman, and yeah, like I made a joke about it one day, and this dude was ready to freaking throw hands at me. And I was like, "Yo, bro, it was a joke," but for him, it wasn't a joke. You know, for him, it wasn't a joke. Like, it was serious. Like, he still hadn't healed from those scars. You know, because those scars cut so deep in that dude. And I didn't even realize it until I just saw his reaction. He was ready to throw hands at me. You know, and I genuinely felt bad for even making that joke. You know, because anybody that knows me, I like to make jokes. I like to clown on everybody. That's just how I am. I like to clown on everybody. And usually, if I'm clowning on you, that means I like you. If I'm not clowning, if we're hanging out in a crowd and I'm not clowning on you, then yeah, you should be a little worried. You should be very worried. But yeah, man, like I don't ever want to hear nobody saying that this can't happen to dudes. I don't want to hear that ever, man, because it can't. This surely can happen to dudes. Yes, it fucking can. This can happen to dudes. You know, it probably happened to some dudes and they didn't even know it. And probably what happened, when it happened to one dude, he tried to tell somebody. Probably more likely he tried to tell like his mom or some shit, and it got dismissed, which is common. Which is a common thing to happen when when you're a boy and you're living with a single mom. Not that that happened to me or that happened in my situation with my mom, because man, let me tell you something. My mom, if something were to happen to me, my mom was real quick to freaking hunt a motherfucker down. Like, that's not even no joke. My mom was real quick to go John Wick on somebody. I'm not joking, man. My mom was real quick to go John Wick on somebody, because she was not letting that happen to her kids at all. Like, at all. But again, man, I mean, that's just my experience, just from this mom. So I can't really kind of say everybody else's mom should be like that. 'Cause at the end of the day, you're only a product of whatever environment you were raised in. You know, at the end of the day, that's all you are. It's just a product of whatever environment you are. And yeah, man, sometimes you gotta overcome that shit. You just gotta overcome a lot of that shit. And I honestly hope that when it comes to that kid, I honestly hope that he does get therapy for that. I really do hope he gets therapy for that situation, because what happened to him was fucked up. It was fucked up. And that woman that did that freaking turned around and initiated the sexual act with this kid, she ain't shit either. She ain't shit. But that's just what it is. She ain't shit. Because she initiated the sexual act with this kid, had a baby with this kid, basically taking away this kid's innocence, taking away his whole life before he even had the opportunity to live life. You know? Like, dude's 13, not even gonna be able to freaking have his fun when he's 18, because he's gonna be too busy having responsibilities that he shouldn't be having at that age. He shouldn't have to be responsible for taking care of a kid. You know, he shouldn't have to be worrying about about stepping up to be a father. It's unfair to him. It's unfair. I would be saying the same thing if this was a little girl that was forced to freaking have some man's child that grazed her. I would be saying the same thing. It's not fair to her because this was forced on her. I would be saying it straight up. It's not fair for her. I would keep the exact same energy across the board, because that's the type of person I am. I keep shit balanced. I like to keep my cards balanced out. Okay? So I don't want nobody saying that I'm trying to freaking cape for only dudes. No, I keep the same energy across the board. You know? That's just what I do. That's how I work. Yeah, man, it's like, I don't know what the hell the world's coming to, man, where anybody in their right mind would think something like this is okay. Like, it just goes to show that this world is it's a mess. Well, it's a whole freaking mess right now. Like, another thing I just got done listening to was that one chick, that one female cop in Tennessee, what's her name, Megan Hall, where if y'all don't know the whole story behind her, long story short, she was getting busted down by a bunch of dudes in the freaking precinct. And then when it got brought to light, not only did all the dudes that busted down on her either got fired or suspended, but she got fired. And now she's trying to flip the script and say that she was freaking groomed into the shit and that she was coerced into it. Like, no, we can't do that. No, we're not gonna do that. Not gonna do that. Sorry. Because if that was the case, you would have said something earlier when you got caught, but you didn't. You waited like what, 2 months after you got fired to turn around and say some shit and then file a lawsuit against the city because you don't want to take accountability for your shit. See, it is why I always say, like, if you need to teach your kids about accountability early, teach them at an early age what accountability is, so they don't end up running into jacked up situations like this, to where they refuse to be accountable for shit, and then they want to take it to the point where they're starting to sue people. Like, come on, man. Like, I would have respected it if she owned it. I would have had some respect if she was like, you know what? Yeah, I did what I did. You know, that is just what it is. I did what I did. I would have some degree of respect for her. But you know what? Like, nah, I can't. I can't respect you, especially if you're taking it this far. I cannot respect you at all. Like, man, some of these days I just really wish that we really teach kids about accountability. And I don't think it should just be taught by parents. I think it's something that should be taught in schools too, about accountability. But hey, at the end of the day, people are gonna do what they do. So I mean, what am I doing? I'm just wasting my breath trying to tell people about accountability, because at the end of the day, you can preach about accountability all you want. You know what I mean? You can preach about morality and all this stuff, but at the end of the day, everybody's gonna do what they want to do. All you can do is just be the messenger and just hope to God that whoever is listening to the message receives it, and then you go from there. That's about all that could really be done. That's really all that can be done. And furthermore, do you all really want to know what people are even like, people's reaction to this whole thing? Pretty much what I've seen all over like YouTube and Facebook, this is pretty much everybody's reaction to it. Like, for real, that's pretty much everybody's reaction to this whole thing. I mean, that's everybody's reaction to this entire situation with this officer. Like that's just pretty much just all it is. Yeah, and then I'm probably gonna end up changing the title of this, because originally I was supposed to be talking about what was going on with that story with the lady, but I already kind of covered it. I guess right now I'm just gonna pretty much just kind of rant a little bit. Yeah, don't bite all the outside noises because I'm in the parking lot at work, just waiting to go into work. I got kind of early, so I figured I'd do my show in my car. I should have done it in the house, but I was like, whatever, because I'm not even fully awake. Let me just do this shit in the car. That way I can say it if I did it. You know about my business. But at the same time, I mean, I'm doing the show too because there's just some things that happen in the media that some people aren't aware of, and I kind of want to bring awareness to it. You know what I mean? That's kind of the purpose of me doing this channel, and just kind of doing this thing. It's just kind of bring awareness to just things that some people aren't aware of, and at the same time, kind of have it as a little bit of like teachable moment. You know what I mean? It's kind of something along those lines. So it's even though I do have my rants, there's a message. There's a message to my madness of why I'm doing my rants. So I don't want nobody thinking like, oh, I'm just ranting just to rant, because that's not the case. But there's a purpose to it. Yep. But anyway, probably gonna go ahead and I might get up and head inside and maybe get one of those little breakfast tacos, even though it's not breakfast time. But then again, I am working overnight right now, so I got a little bit of time. I'll probably go in a minute. But yeah, I mean, I can go over like just a couple of anything else I have in the media. Like I know like Square Enix is, man. If y'all don't know anything about video games, Square Enix, bro, there's some crazy shit going on over there at Square Enix right now. Like all this because of the failure with Marvel's Avengers and Forspoken, because neither one of those games really hit any of their, I guess, their sales projections they were looking for. So now they're getting ready to incept the studio that did Forspoken. They're getting ready to incept it into Square Enix, so that studio is pretty much going to be dismantled. And then to get this, the president of Square Enix is pretty much getting fired. Yeah, that dude's pretty much done. He's done at Square Enix. Like, finito, out the door. Starting in, I think they said June, which is kind of crazy. But you know what? I mean, it is what it is. They did it to themselves. I mean, the fact that this dude hyped up two video games that were essentially supposed to be big money in this Square Enix, but instead it caused them to lose money. So, I mean, at the end of the day, when you greenlight some shit that causes your company to lose money, don't be surprised if they freaking turn around and give you the I mean, that's just what it is at the end of the day. It's just what it is, man. It is like also I know I saw something with Suicide Squad. I don't know if anybody's been keeping track of that game, but I know there was apparently they're trying to do the same business model as Marvel's Avengers, apparently from what I've seen from the gameplay footage. And I'm gonna be honest about that. I have a feeling that game's gonna be dead on arrival. I mean, I was pushing for that game. I was even gonna freaking try to do a pre-order, but just after seeing the gameplay, now I'm kind of like, I kind of want to take a few steps back from it, just because when it comes to that paid service shit, like I'm not with that. Like I'm personally, I just want to be able to, like, especially if you're advertising a single player game, I want to be able to play. I want to be able to play just a single player mode and not have to be online all fucking day. Like, come on, man. What's the purpose of making the game single player if you're gonna require me to be online the entire time? What's the purpose of it? Doesn't make any sense at all. Like, doesn't make any logical sense to consistently be online if I'm playing a freaking single player game. Doesn't make any sense. You know? None whatsoever. So why are you requiring your customers to be online if you're not playing with anybody else online? Make that shit make sense, please. Make it make sense. Because it ain't making any sense to me. And then, also, the new Ninja Turtle trailer just dropped for the new Ninja Turtle cartoon. I can tell you right now, like, how I feel about it. I had a little bit of a mixed bag at first. I kind of had to watch the trailer a couple times. I'll be honest. The only thing I'm really not feeling is the April O'Neil. The fact that they made her, it's not so much that they made her black, but they made her overweight. That was kind of something I wasn't feeling. And before I can get into it, I don't want none of y'all motherfuckers trying to say, "Oh, I'm fat shaming anybody," because no, that's not even a fucking case. I'm not trying to fat shame nobody. All right, so I'm just making that clear right now. That it ain't me fat shaming nobody. The only reason I'm having an issue with this is because, I mean, like, even in the comic books and any other TV series, April was a fucking badass. She ends up training like the fucking ninjas. And honestly, if you're gonna do something like that, you gotta make the character believable. You know what I mean? Like this, like she's not gonna be like fucking Bob from Tekken. If y'all know who Bob is from Tekken, you know what I'm talking about. Like, she's not gonna be looking like, acting like Bob, where she's freaking fat dude doing a bunch of Bruce Lee moves. Which, by the way, but the character of Bob in Tekken, he's just a spoof of just your average white American. That's the whole point of Bob. He's just basically a caricature of the average fat, overweight, just the average overweight white American man. That's all it is. So I just had to put that out there. But anyway, yeah, man, I kind of just wasn't feeling the design for April O'Neil. But I do like the one thing that at first it took a second to grow on me was the fact that they made the Ninja Turtles actually teenagers. At first I was a little taken back by it, but I'm kind of like, you know what? I kind of want to see how this plays out. Like, no joke. I kind of want to see how it plays out. Plus, the trailer was actually kind of funny. So, I mean, yeah. I'm probably gonna watch it anyway. Just my only issue was just the kind of race swap of April O'Neil, and then they made her overweight. But actually, not even so much the race swapping was that much of an issue for me, honestly. But I did actually find out some new info that a lot of people were making this claim that April O'Neil was originally supposed to be black in comics, but come to find out that they actually were just misquoting they were actually misquoting one of the creators. And I'm gonna give my credit to Young Ripper 9. Shout out to him for doing a video clearing that up. Like, this dude, he did a whole video clearing it up, and I'll put a link in the description box once I end the stream. I'll put a link in the description box where he pretty much debunks it. Like, he really goes through, like, he pulls up April O'Neil's first appearance, her very first appearance in the comics from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 2, and clearly shows how she was depicted, and then how the character of Baxter Stockman was depicted. So he pretty much just debunks the whole thing of April O'Neil originally being originally being black in the comic books. He debunks that whole shit. Debunks it. Which, I mean, that kind of took me back because the whole time I'm thinking, yeah, I thought she was black in the comics. What the fuck? Like, that shit threw me off. But, like I said, I mean, I'll put a link in the description box so y'all can check the video out. Because, I mean, I thought it was an interesting video. He really broke it down. It was a really cool video. Yeah, anyway. Time will go on for about 26. I'll probably stay on for Uncle Watt. Yeah, you know what? I'll probably go ahead and start eating inside right now because I'm a little hungry. So go on ahead, get me a freaking taco, relax, and wind down. I'll charge my phone because, to be honest, as hot as it is outside here, my phone ain't got fucking charge like this. So I'll go ahead and inside. I'm going to charge the phone and go from there. But before I go, I'm going to let Bane take it away with the outro, and then I will catch y'all on the next one. Until next time, y'all be safe, stay out of trouble, and peace. Bane, take it away.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding.